Hey everybody, King Bing here. Last August I showed you the King Bing shed, and I've made some changes to the shed, so I want to give you an update. And because it's so cold out now that it's March, I'm going to keep this video short. So with that, here we go. So here's the shed, and I already unlocked the door so it won't be a problem to get in. It's actually nice and warm in here. So if you saw the earlier video, then you're going to see a lot of things that look the same. And I want to keep that going because it's good to have an organization set up and always use the principles of 5S so that you can always find what you're looking for, and if something's missing, it's easy to find. So with that, we'll start over here. And a big change I made within weeks after the last video is my workbench, because I bought a table saw. I bought the table saw for a couple $100 on Kijiji, which is like the American version of Craigslist, only better. So I had to build some tables with wheels on them because, again, my shed is only 8 by 10. So when I'm not using the table saw, I need to be able to have the space that I have. So I had to redo my workbench and make it so that the table saw would slide underneath with the two tables as well, to be able to take those in and out whenever I need to use the table saw and set wood on. So everything fits. It's a little bit snug, and I may redo it just a bit, but for now it's working out really well for me. So here's the shed. I've added a few things which you'll see. This shelf, I bought a nice Stanley ratchet socket set, and I decided I don't want everything inside of the case that you give you. I want it all out. So I made these customized homes and labeled everything so it's easy to get to, and there's a little bit of room to grow there. Everything else is pretty much the same. Made a few changes, changed some of my screw holders. You can see I still have the shadow board, so if you take something off, very simple to know where it goes, and it's labeled as well. So none of that has changed. Since I got into the Ryobi tools, I had to change out one of my chargers. So I have this charger, the Ryobi One Plus charger, and I actually have a second one that I had to start using some of my unused space so up on the ceiling. So I have a charger there as well. I got some vacuum attachments, so all those are all labeled now, as well as homes for my Allen keys. I don't use those very much, so I decided to use the space behind my bolt cutters. Since I don't use them that much, it's not that critical. And since it's March, it's still cold up here, so during the winter I put a heater in the shed that keeps it fairly warm, considering it's not insulated and it's still cold outside. So right now it's 10 degrees in here, which is about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. I took my wheelbarrow out. I'm thinking about building a separate little lean-to for it or whatever, because I want to be able to move all my gardening tools over towards that area and put in a drill press in this section here. I still haven't done much with this particular shadow board. It could use some labels, but I'm probably going to rethink how I do that, so I may change that. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm going to change that. So everything on this side is the same as it was before. And I still have my loft. I talked about taking that down and making individual shelves, because it's hard to get to the back. You have to get the ladder up and line that up on the floor, put it into the notches. That way you can reach everything that's in the back. Otherwise, You have to climb up on a ladder, use a pull bar, and climb up in there. So I'm still thinking about doing that. Haven't done anything with that yet. But a new addition to my shed is this section I made here for the ratchet and socket set that I bought at Canadian Tire. So everything up here is labeled, including all my hole saws. So they're very easy to get in and out if you need one. Very easy to know where to put it back. And I also bought a full spade set. And I put this up here. It's very secure. You might think, what if one falls and hits somebody in the head? This magnet is really strong. And I got the magnets from Princess Auto at a very good price. So I love these magnets. I've got them in a few different places, like for my drill bits here, screwdriver bits here, adapters, screwdrivers here, and some of my smaller hand tools. So it comes in very handy. So that's the update for the shed. Nothing else has really changed. Again, the two major changes are the board for the sockets and the ratchets, and the redo on my table so that I could put my table saw underneath and be able to get that in and out easy whenever I need to cut wood on the table saw. It's worked out pretty well, but I might take this third table out that I use as an in-feed table and try to rig up something that I can hang on the wall so I can free up the space, because my wood vise makes it very difficult to get the outfeed table out unless you take at least the table saw out first. So those are the possible changes I might make to the shed for now, and I'm sure there will be many more as I get more and more into the woodworking. So for today, that's it. Enjoy this warm, balmy day as it's 50 degrees in the King Byng shed. Have a great day, and come on spring.